Hello everyone, and peace of Christ all of you. Please invite your friends. And today our topic is about politics and peace agreements. We heard today the news that United Arab Emirates is going or already in agreement and sign a peace agreement with Israel. But what we do not know is way more than this. It's not just a peace agreement. And what make this country agree finally to sign such an agreement with Israel? Is that because really they like peace and they love Israel? Is that really because they don't want war no more? Or the story is bigger than this? Going back a little bit, not long time ago, we see the news that Erdogan, he made a clear threat to United Arab Emirates. And he told the Emirati to remember their size. And even he told them, we will put you in your size in the right time, in the right place. And the threat is very serious. And as you see, Erdogan, he thinks today that he is the caliphate and he is so powerful. Why? Because Trump is very soft with the Erdogan, because Trump these days is busy with the election and look like he don't want to be tough on Turkey for some reason. Maybe because he have an investment in Turkey, something fishy. But it's so clear that the threat is serious. And United Arab Emirates is a very small, tiny country. And this small, tiny country is not in any way able to fight a country like Turkey. You hear the news that Turkey even now going inside the water space of Greece, and they don't really care about European Union. Why? Because they felt European Union became so submissive and they didn't have real leaders to fight Turkey. Or let us say there's nobody to stand up for Turkey at this time. So he's taking advantage of the situation and he's going in and he keep threatening. He threatened Cyprus, he threatened Greece, he threatened everybody, he threatened even Egypt. But this Erdogan, he is so stupid to the point he made everybody an enemy. He have zero friends. The only friend he have is Qatar. And the reason they are friends because both are Muslim Brotherhood. It's a gang of Muslim Brotherhood party. So when the Emirate received the threat, and it's obviously very serious, because the Turkish, they have now already a base in Qatar, which is very, very close to Emirate, which means Turkish airplane, they can attack easy Emirate anytime, any moment. And they don't have really any guarantee from anyone to protect them, and not even from America. When the Turkish Prime Minister, the Defense Minister, and Erdogan, they told Arab Emirate, and said Turkey will hold the UAE accountable at their right place and right time. And this was the Defense Minister statement. And this was just July 30. July 30, which means less than 14 days from now. Less than 14 days. So 14 days ago, they repeated the threat that we are going to attack you and let us see how you can stop us. And because Trump is very soft, and I find the behavior of Trump regarding Turkey very stupid and disgusting somehow. In the same time, because United Arab Emirates, they knew that there's nobody to help them, they decide to join with the enemy to fight the enemy. A while ago, actually not long time ago, the Iranian, they made another threat that they will attack United Arab Emirates and Israel in the same day. If we go there, This is the news. Iran threatened to attack Israel and United Arab Emirates. So they are telling them, we will attack you in the same day, which means the day things go crazy, Emirat is going to be the first target to hit by the Iranian regime. So Emirat, as a small tiny country, they knew their size and they knew they cannot face such a threat, neither from Iran, neither from Turkey, and they need help. And who is there to help? Israel. The only one can help is Israel. Anyone will talk about different topic other than our topic, please leave the chat. We don't care if you are a Hindu or not. Those Hindu who's coming here trying to disturb our conversation to talk about Hinduism, trust me, you don't want to go there. A person who believes that his God can be a rat, I'm not going to debate with you. Go and take your rat God with you. Don't waste my time. We don't have time for kids here. I mean, can you believe that there's somebody who want to debate me to prove to me that his God can be a rat? Go worship your rat. Stop your stupidity and leave. What we will debate about? Debating somebody believe that God is a rat. At least make him a cat. Can you? Weird people. So, Emirat, because of this situation, they decided to go and sign a peace agreement. And I believe this peace agreement is just another face of a coin, which is going to be a military agreement. Count my word and you will see that soon Emirat will announce that Israel and United Arab Emirates, they establish an agreement for defense. Is going to happen very soon, and we will see soon Israeli jet fighters are landing in United Arab Emirates. And I believe in the same time that Emirat is the first country to join, and the one who's going to be after it is Bahrain. And the reason I say that, because Bahrain is a very small, tiny country and being threatened the same as United Arab Emirates. Let us say that other countries, they are less brave to go for such an advanced movement with Israel, but when they notice that it is easy, it is not really hard, people did not go crazy in the street, and you notice here the Muslims are not going to scream Allahu Akbar, jihad, what are you doing? Why? Because everybody, his pocket is full of money coming from Emirates, and this is what the Muslims usually, Muslim population is about. Money in the mouth, they don't talk. As simple as that. So what will happen next? After United Arab Emirates sign this agreement with Israel, the second country will sign is going to be Bahrain. Let us put an arrow so we can see those countries. Bahrain is a very small, tiny country, extremely small. And actually even Arab Emirates is very small too. I mean, its population is a size of a building in China. And we are talking about the population of the citizen, not the foreigners. More than 95%, I think, of Emirates are foreigners, not the local, not the native people. So this country cannot defend itself, and Bahrain is the same. Bahrain have a problem with the Shia. More than 60% of population are Shia, and that is a big threat too. So today Emirat, tomorrow is going to be Bahrain, and the third one is going to be Saudi Arabia. And now what is this can do to Israel? You see, what the Israeli now is accomplishing is extremely important for the future of Israel. All those years, Israel is surrounded by enemy, and those, by the way, they will never be friends. Those are not friends, even they signed peace agreement. Israel knew that very well. But what will happen Israel already have a peace agreement with the puppy of USA, the King of Jordan. This is Israel, Jerusalem. This is Amman. And now when the Saudi they join the peace agreement, that's mean Israeli airline they can fly directly all the way from Jerusalem. Let us extend the map. They can go almost in a direct line from Jerusalem. Let us make it a blue line. From Jerusalem, over Jordan, over Saudi Arabia, and they can cross the Gulf and they can land as a step or a stop in United Arab Emirates. And that is a big deal to Israel. Before that, before this has happened, or until now, the Israeli, in order to go anywhere, they have to go in a cycle which is extremely painful. As an example, if you want to go and you want to fly from Israel, you want to go to Russia, you have to go from Jerusalem, go over here and enter into Turkey, and then from Turkey you enter into Armenia or Georgia, and you continue into Ukraine or Russia, etc. So they have to make, or let us say, they lose a few hours of a flying just to avoid countries which are enemies and they cannot fly over them. By those agreements, Israel will be able to go all the way to United Arab Emirates and to go to the other side of the world without wasting a moment of a flying. The additional important thing, intelligence. All of us, we knew that intelligence is very important in war. And United Arab Emirates, all of us, we knew that they established a center which is run by the CIA, and now the Israeli they are going to join. And there is another center in Qatar, but Qatar they are like snake, they play games. Another center established by the CIA and the Saudi government, it is in Saudi Arabia. That will give Israel an access to all those centers legally, because as soon they sign those agreements, they will join together as forces against what they consider shared enemy, which is Iran. And for sure Al-Qaeda and ISIS, etc., all this garbage. So Israel is not only getting access to flight zone, not only getting access to be in the ground, not only access to security information, they are going far beyond. And soon we will see United Arab Emirates signing big deal of buying weapon from Israel, and count in my words, and you will see. Because the Israeli weapon is extremely powerful and nobody actually have the same weapon as they do. So they need it badly, and when they buy from Israel, they get extra support from Israel. Additional to that, I believe within maybe a year from now maximum, we will see United Arab Emirates signing a defense agreement between Emirates and Israel. And it sounds very weird, right? I mean, the enemy yesterday, today, tomorrow, we sign not only peace agreement, we will sign defense agreement. How that can be? Well, this the whole point of this whole move is defense agreement, because Emirates trying to protect itself. And we will see both United Arab Emirates and Bahrain doing the same. The Saudi, they will slow down to study how the reaction of the population of the Arab and Muslims and the world for this agreement. And when they notice there's nothing bad happen, then they will go for it, and then Saudi Arabia is going to sign for it too. And I believe the Saudi, they will follow maybe maximum maybe a year from now, maybe 6 months from now. We will see how it's going to go. But I believe that Bahrain for sure, and Saudi Arabia for sure, and then Kuwait to follow. I mean, Kuwait is already in the pocket of Trump. Actually, all of them, they are in his pocket if you force them. But, you know, things happened in a very, very easy way. And the reason, thanks to Erdogan, the stupid Erdogan, who made a threat to United Arab Emirates, and Iran, which both are Islamic countries, praise him be to Allah, they want to destroy a Muslim country to praise Allah. So Iran and Turkey, they force this peace agreement to happen immediately, so fast, almost overnight. And this is how Erdogan, he was able to accomplish something Israel dreamed to have for a long time, because this is very extremely important to Israel. And look, to make it like look like the Emirati, they made a victory by this peace agreement. They said that the Israelis are going to stop to take land from the side of what it's called Palestinian, which in fact does not exist. The fact Israel will never stop that. This is just an announcement for today, and tomorrow forget about it. It's just to make United Arab Emirates that they did really something good in the peace process. Here we go. The Israeli, they stopped taking land, which is their land anyway. I mean, take land from who? I mean, the Israeli, they were so stupid not long time ago to give this land to those who call themselves Palestinian. But those are not even Palestinian. Those are Arab, occupied that land from the Palestinian and the Israeli. The real Palestinian are the Christians who used to live there, not the Arab Muslims. So they announce that in return Israel will stop taking land, but this is impossible, will never stop. Just watch and you will see. It's just to make Emirat today as, okay, we did not give this gift to Israel for nothing. Like, look, they just agreed to stop taking land. But that will never happen. This is just temporarily in the news. It's just for local consumers, you know. No, Shia are in Iran, Turkey are Sunni. They are Sunni Sufi, you know, which is not Muslim really. Sunni Sufi, they are belly dancing people. They have nothing to do with Islam, I mean. But they call themselves Muslims. This is why you see in Turkey, nightclub is open. Women, their short is shorter than, you know, I mean, it's not like even a bikini. Erdogan, he never closed one nightclub. Number one business in Turkey is tourism and nightclubs and prostitution. And Erdogan, he is a Muslim caliphate who praise Allah, sing in Ayah Sophia, the Quran, claiming to be the hero, the Muslim hero, but the Turkish girls are all over, wearing almost nothing in the street, and nightclub is open, alcohol is everywhere, nothing practiced about Islam. It's just an image, you know. Islam used as a political agenda, and this is other point I want to talk about, which we're going to be our topic for tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a topic is about why Islamic countries launching a campaign against political Islam. Political Islam is presented very carefully and in a very stupid way by Erdogan, where the agenda, the name, the title is Islam, Allahu Akbar, Caliphate, but behind the scene, short, bikini, nightclub, everything normal, nothing changed in Turkey. All the garbage of Erdogan was just a garbage to make a speeches, but the reality is different. So you will notice that United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia and Kuwait and Bahrain and Egypt, they call political Islam as something very dangerous. The funny, European Union did not even announce such a statement, and they will not make a campaign against political Islam. Why? Because simply, as we said before, in Europe we don't have really real leaders. The same as in USA, we don't have real leaders. I mean, I vote for Trump and I will vote for him again, but Trump is not a real leader. He is a businessman. Trump, he announced Qatar as a sponsor for terrorism, and he announced that Muslim Brotherhood is a terrorist organization. But he took his word back and he did not do any action against Qatar or Muslim Brotherhood since the Qatari, week after they came and they bought a lot of airplanes and they put a lot of money in the pocket of USA. Excuse me a second, drink water. So Trump, as long you pay him, and I'm not saying this is going to his pocket, it's going to USA pocket, as long you don't pay him, he forgive you. It's okay. You support terrorists, it's okay. we will go for sleep for some time, but later we will wake up and we will ask you for this again, and you have to pay us. So all of them, they are the same, you know. We don't have really real leaders who they can stand for the devil in the time we live in. We have leaders who they are better than other leaders. This is why I say I will vote for Trump, because at least Trump is way better than the other side, which is so stupid. I mean, I cannot, you know, the other side, which is called Democrat in USA, is a bunch of moron. It's a bunch of people taking hashish. Going back to our topic. So when the Turkish, they made the threat, you will notice that just a week ago, the Greece government, they signed an agreement of borders with Egypt. And before that, the Israeli and Greece and and Cyprus, they signed an agreement of pipe gas line. All of this happening because of Turkey. I mean, this Erdogan is uniting all the enemy. He's like a magical ring, helping Israel, stringing whoever is against Islam. He is even uniting the Muslims with the Jews. I mean, this is impossible to believe that such a thing can happen. That time will come and the Jews will shake hands with the Emirati and they will become united against who? Turkey and Iran. So, because this religion is very much vertical, my throat is so dry. Oh boy. Too much coffee. See what happened when I drink too much coffee? I need to slow down with the coffee. So I want to say, I appreciate the help of Erdogan. Erdogan, actually, he saved Europe. European Union, before Erdogan, they were preparing to accept Turkey inside European Union. But since Erdogan came and the agenda of Islam came, Europe, they stopped accepting Turkey as part of Europe. So if not your Erdogan, Europe today is in bye-bye mood. The Turkish will be flooding. I'm talking about the Muslim Turkish, and the people of Erdogan, they will flood Europe. So by the help of Erdogan, Europe today is saved. And actually by the help of Erdogan, Hagia Sophia is going to save even Europe more. The European now, they notice that this Turkish country, it is not going to change into what they think is going to be. Even in the year 2020, still they want to take a sword and they want to play with it in the middle of Hagia Sophia. You saw how the sheikh in Hagia Sophia taking a sword with him. Nothing changed. The Ottoman who took half of Europe before, their dream is still there to take Europe again, and they will do if they can. And European now, they start noticing that Turkey will never be a friend. Turkey is just an octopus of power, and they use always religion for the purpose of controlling others, like the Muslims. Otherwise, Turkish never care really for religion. If you go to Turkey, you will see what I'm talking about. You will see the bikini, you will see the short, you will see the nightclub, but yet when you say Allahu Akbar, all of them, they are Muslims. So Erdogan was a very great help to unite Europe together, to make them wake up, to stop Turkey from getting inside into Europe and destroy it. And in the same time, they made those who don't care to stand for Turkey wake up and get ready. Just today we heard the news about the French sending their airplanes and their weapon into Greece and into Cyprus. And actually, as we speak now, they are having army training in the Greece water border. And all of this is a message to Turkey saying to them, listen, Greece is not alone, it is part of European Union. And I'm really grateful for Macron which always I make fun of him because he don't look like for me a leader to trust, but look like this guy is changing and he is doing what is right. So now he is showing a real support to Greece, that they are not going to be alone if you attack them. So now the enemy is surrounding Turkey and Iran from all directions. If we go back to the map to understand what is the change now in this, since the morning, what happened? Countries did not change their location, but base of attack changed. So now Israel, I'm sure, I'm sure there's a lot of secrets agreements are not announced yet between the United Arab Emirates and the Israeli. And I believe the biggest secret will be, and count on my words and you will see, that United Arab Emirates is going to give Israel a base. And the base will be under USA base, which means it's going to be like a group base, but the purpose of this base is to give footprint to Israel to be in United Arab Emirates. And I think this place is going to be mostly in this area here. And the reason this area, it's very close to Iran. Let us make it more clear. In the same time, it have very access to the most sensitive areas in the Gulf. Iran is just in the other side, very, very close distance, which means the Israeli, they do not need to fly all the way to Israel in order to get a fuel, to get their weapon reloaded, in order to launch an attack on Iran. Or what they need is just few minutes of going back. Actually, they do not even need to go back, because the airplane supply can provide them with oil. But I don't think they need it, because as you see, the distance is very short. But what they need for sure is to land down again and load it with weapon and go back to the fight again. And having such a location few kilometers away from Iran is extremely important to Israel. That is a dream. And the Emirati, again, they are not going to doing this because they love the Jews, but because they need a protection. You fight Israel, you fight us, you are fighting one country. So because they are a weak country, small, tiny country, Dubai, it might be look advanced in buildings, etc., but it is bubbles. All of this is bubbles, United Arab Emirates is not a civilization. It's a money. The money is the money. Those buildings are money. And those buildings can turn into ghost towns overnight. If Iran shoot 2 missiles at Dubai, Dubai will be empty overnight. And the economy will collapse. I don't know how many of you knows about this country, but just a few years ago, there's more than 50,000 cars in the front of the airport of Dubai for free. Just take them. Why? People, they were leaving, there's no jobs. And they leave their car, nobody buy the car. They leave the car in the airport and they leave. So those countries are bubbles. They are not real countries. Their wealth is bubbles. And the ruler of, or we can say the rulers of Emirat, because they give themselves to the Western, they said, okay, come here and do whatever you want. They became so successful. Tax-free, come and do business, come and invest, we'll give you a visa, bring your money, etc. So Dubai became a center for trade, but it's not really, let us say, a real economy. It's a bubble economy, which means all this money belongs to someone. He is not even from the country. The money of the country is coming from being this investment in that country, bringing a lot of money to the country. Otherwise, the country itself is not really that rich. And that bubble can disappear so fast. So what is the security and who is going to defend Emirat? Israel. And Israel will not defend Emirat because they like them, but because they are defending themselves. And I believe too, we will watch the news and let us see if I'm wrong. I believe the second country which is going to be joining the peace is going to be Bahrain. This is Bahrain, as you see in the map. It's very small, tiny country. And not long time ago, the Saudi, they built a bridge, which is very short distance. I don't know. I think it's like 2-3 kilometers, you know, from here to here, and that will make them supposedly part of Saudi Arabia. So they built the bridge, if you see it in the map, and that is to strengthen the tide between Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, so Iran will not swallow it. Iran have a habit to swallow islands from their neighbors because their neighbors are very weak and very tiny and they cannot defend themselves. So here we see, as an example, there's islands which is swollen by Emirat, sorry, by Iran, and this is one of them. This one used to be, or let us make a circle here. This one used to be part of United Arab Emirates. Overnight, the Iranian regime landed their weapon and they took over the island. And this island is so close to Emirat. And Emirat, they cannot fight Iran and take it back. They are no match. So already Iran started swallowing part of the lands of Emirat, and they will do the same to Qatar, etc. So what happened? Very simple. Erdogan from one side, Iran from one side, the Emirati, they found themselves surrounded by enemy and they have no friends. The friend is Israel. And now they are signing this agreement with Israel in order to retain their protection and their land and preserve their borders from big, huge enemies they are no match to. Erdogan was a very great help because he's so stupid, as usual, to help Emirat to make such a decision. And Israel is the only winner in this. There's only one winner in this agreement. It is Israel. And let us see, by the coming week or the week after, or maybe next month, we will see Bahrain joining this peace agreement. And then after that, we will see the Prince of Saudi Arabia. And you will notice here, like each one of them, those countries, they have a propaganda machine. You know, propaganda machine, like to make the king is a hero. So how they wanna sell out the news that Emirat, they sign agreement with Israel, and Israel is the Jews, and this is the enemy of Allah. How they can make it? Very easy. Those countries, they are small, yes, but they bought a lot of TV stations in the West. As an example, Sky News is owned and controlled by United Arab Emirates. BBC, can you believe it? BBC is funded by the Saudi for many, many years. Like how many of you used to listen to the BBC Arabic, if you are an Arab like me? Maybe you do not know that all the BBC is funded by the Saudi, not by the UK government. You believe it? And actually, Al Jazeera TV is created because one day the BBC, they made an interview with a group of people who they oppose the royal family in their TV and their radio. And then the Saudi, they announced they will not support the TV no more. You are in your own. And then the BBC, they kicked out all their employees, and right away Qatar found a great advantage of that, so they announced the opening of a Jazeera, and they hire all the employees who used to be in the BBC in their Al Jazeera TV. So do you see the involvement of the money of those countries? Yes, they are the Arab, but they are the one who they own your sport team in Europe. You go to Spain, ask who is the owner of this sport team. He's an Arab. You go to France, you go to England, you go to Belgium, you go wherever you want to go. The owners are Arab. Their money is talking. And because their money is talking, the propaganda machine now is talking. So all TV stations who is owned by United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, now they are praising the amazing deal, how beautiful it is. This is, as an example, the Sky News. And you will see right away in the top, because Sky News is owned by the Emirati. Israel to halt Palestinian land. See, they make it look like the United Arab Emirates, they made a victory, you know, because of the historic deal with United Arab Emirates. Look what will happen. So they start saying out the deal as if it is the most biggest victory. It is not really proving how weak they are. It's not really proving how desperate they are to the needs of Israel. They try to make it like it's a victory. This is always their agenda. So you see here Western TV stations owned by the Arab, owned by the Muslims, and in the speed of light they change the color of the news from bad to good, from good to bad, because this is a bad news for the Arab. Why? Because if you are a Muslim and you believe Israel is the enemy, and Israeli are saying we will not give you Jerusalem, and you claim that you will never give them peace unless they give the land, and then you sign a peace, so who is the one who lost? Obviously the Arab. But it's not that easy. They knew they will never have Jerusalem. They knew it's just a statement, big time talk. It's big lips saying nothing. The reality is something, and what they are asking for is something. So they agree to go with the deal, which is peace for protection. They are seeking protection of Israel. And now if you click at this article, let us click and go inside, you will see how they are talking about it as this is like, I mean, the Prince of Emirat, as if he went to the seven galaxy, you know. I mean, like, this guy, he did really amazing thing. This is victory. What victory? What victory? What victory in saying that Israel is Israel? You see, all those years they deny even Israel to be a country. Now, not only they are denying Israel to be a country, they are signing a peace agreement, opening embassy for Israel. Israel is going to have intelligence in their consulate and their embassy, and soon they will have a military base inside United Arab Emirates. Same in Bahrain. Actually, I believe, actually I heard the news, already in Bahrain there's a lot of Israeli intelligence and army personnel exists already in Bahrain. If we go to see what Trump he said about that, let me go there. We will open the White House website and see what Trump he said about that. And I think many of you heard already what Trump he said about this issue. Okay. I see the article. I want to see the video in the White House. Let us go to White House in YouTube. White House account, YouTube. White House. All right. This is the official White House. Okay, hold on. I don't see anything in their videos there. Trump to hold President News. I'm not sure which one of them. Okay, let's see this one, maybe this one.
Well, thank you very much. This is very important. This is a big event, and I want to just congratulate all of the people standing behind me because they have done an incredible job. This is something that hasn't been done in more than 25 years. Just a few moments ago, I hosted a very special call with two friends, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed of the United Arab Emirates, where they agreed to finalize a historical peace agreement. Everybody said this would be impossible. And as you know, Mohammed is one of the great leaders of the Middle East. After 49 years, Israel and the United Arab Emirates will fully normalize their diplomatic relations. They will exchange embassies and ambassadors and begin cooperation across the board and on a broad range of areas, including tourism, education, healthcare, trade, and security. This is a truly historic moment.
Did you hear what is the agreement? You guys, are you listening? Listen again. What is the agreement? Listen carefully. Because, you know, most of us, we don't focus in the details. We focus in the title, you know. Most of us, we are title people, you know, the title. Sometimes even the title does not exist in the news, but we focus in the title. The title is not really important. Look what is the agreement is about.
Mohammed bin Zayed of the United Arab Emirates, where they agreed to finalize a historical peace agreement. Everybody said this would be impossible. And as you know, Mohammed is one of the great leaders of the Middle East. After 49 years, Israel and the United Arab Emirates will fully normalize their diplomatic relations. They will exchange embassies and ambassadors and begin cooperation across the board and on a broad range of areas, including tourism, education, healthcare, trade, and security.
Did you see the word security? Did we hear the word security? Did you see what I told you? Security. I mean, how in the world we are enemy in the morning, afternoon we are one side supporting each other security. This is not a peace agreement. This is way beyond peace agreement. Trade, embassy, education, which means the Muslims in Emirates, they will not teach anymore about the Jews that are the enemy. They cannot do that no more. And you will see right away how the propaganda machine changed. From the Jews are the enemy of Allah, suddenly they will become our friends, and they are the best, and give them a hug when you see them, blah, 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 blah. And now, not only that, they are the one who will provide the security, thanks to the Jews. And now the one who is extremely upset is Erdogan. Erdogan is like a person, he said, like he jumped from the top, you know those things, the one in the swimming pool, you jump to do diving. Erdogan, he jumped, but he sit in the chair, have a big nail on it. Because of this. Because Turkey was, because it was part of the NATO, it was the connection always, the middle connection between the West and the East. Let us say between Western countries and Muslim countries, because simply Turkey is a Muslim country. Turkey today have no place in those Islamic countries. Nobody even want them, and not only that, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Bahrain, and Egypt. If Erdogan go there, he will be arrested immediately. Actually, they consider Turkey as an enemy. So look what happened overnight. And count my words and you will see how Bahrain is going to follow in announcing the same agreement with the same details to follow after Emirat, and the same will be for Saudi Arabia. All right. Now, is that going to do any benefit for us as a Christians? Absolutely. In order to teach hate against the Jews, you have to teach hate against the Christians. In order to forbid teaching hate against the Jews, you have to forbid teaching hate against the Christians. If you want your people, your population, to accept such a deal, then you have to bury the hate, at least in the education system, which is like schools, universities. But for sure, the mosque will continue teaching the ugly teaching of Islam. However, as long as the mosques are under the control of such a person, his name is the prince, because all of them, they are puppies who speak for the king, the money, you know, those sheikhs, whoever give them money, they speak for him. The sheikh, he says something, the king, he says something, all of them, they say the same. They are like a, you know, parrot, right? This is a fraud, isn't it? No, it's not a fraud. Actually, this is very important. This is very important, and this is very real. You know, we understand that there will never be like liking the Jews, yes, but this is a new era. This is a new, let us say, advanced era for Israel. Israel is no more behind its borders in the Middle East. Israel right now is in the Middle East, in Islamic countries. The Israeli airline already, they have an office in United Arab Emirates and in Bahrain already. So things is going to go beyond. And you see, you know, that like the rosary, the one have a stones in it, they use it for prayer. So it's connected, but if you break the line, all the rest of the stones would come out. And this is what will happen. Stone after stone, they will sign agreement with Israel. Actually, if we look at the map already, this is what happened already. But it took a little bit of time and was not happening because nobody want to say, I am the one want to go first. But now, because of Erdogan and the help of Erdogan being stupid, threatening Emirat, the Emirati, they said himself, friend with the Jews, better than being a slave of the Turk. We will not accept the Ottoman to enslave us. So here, Trump, he is praising this deal for simply, all of this was undercover, was secretly done. It's announced today, yes, but trust me, this is what's happening for some time. And now the deal completed because of the threat of Turkey.
And Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed of the United Arab Emirates, where they agreed to finalize a historical peace agreement. Everybody said this would be impossible. And as you know, Mohammed is one of the great leaders of the Middle East. After 49 years, Israel and the United Arab Emirates will fully normalize their diplomatic relations. They will exchange embassies and ambassadors and begin cooperation across the board and on a broad range of areas, including tourism, education, healthcare, trade, and security. This is a truly historic moment. Not since the Israel-Jordan peace treaty was signed more than 25 years ago has so much progress been made towards peace in the Middle East. By uniting two of America's closest and most capable partners in the region, something which said could not be done, this deal is a significant step towards building a more peaceful, secure, and prosperous Middle East. Now that the ice has been broken, I expect more Arab and Muslim countries will follow the United Arab Emirates lead, and I want to just thank them for being. It's not surprising, knowing Mohammed so well, it's not surprising they are in that lead position, and normalize relations with Israel. We are already discussing this with other nations, very powerful, very good nations, and people that want to see peace in the Middle East. So you will probably see others of these, but this is the first one in more than 25 years. This deal will allow much greater access to Muslims from throughout the world to visit the many historic sites in Israel, which the
you know, I mean, this is the most funny thing. And now Muslims, they can go and visit the mosque. Unbelievable. You know, sometimes, like when they say to us in the news something, they treat us as a bunch of kids. You know, like, okay, and now you can get candies, and you can play with the in the yard, and you can go with your sister to play with the swing. Okay, but don't get your clothes dirty. And supposedly now this is the reward. Muslim, they can pray in the mosque. What are you talking about? Shouldn't they get a visa first? The only one who will get a visa is the Emirati. Like, hello. They will give visa to Emirati. The whole Emirati is not even 200,000. I mean, like, supposedly they will make it like there's a big benefit. Like, you will visit the mosque. Like, can you believe it, brother? You know? Actually, the Israeli, they are already issuing visa to anyone from Emirat when I come to Israel. Already we saw many YouTubers going there. Anyway, continue, Trump, continue. Tell us more about the candies.
Muslims want to see very badly and have wanted to see for many, many decades, and to peacefully pray at the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is a very special place for them. My first trip...
Just wait until Trump announced in the second term of the election that the Aqsa is the temple of the Jews and they have the right to take it. Just wait. Today he's saying the Aqsa is the important place for Muslims. I mean, you know, when you watch things it's amazing how things. It's like a comedy show. Yeah, it's an important place for the Muslims. Exactly. Go ahead. Like, isn't this is the guy he made the map just 3 weeks ago, and the map showing that the Aqsa is inside the territory of Israel? I mean, what are you talking about?
As president was to Saudi Arabia in May of 2017 in my speech to the assembled leaders of 54 Muslim countries. Every single one was by their leader, their number one leader. It was an amazing...
How many countries? 64 Muslim countries. They brought them all to meet Trump. I mean, this was the most hilarious moment in history. How much humiliation you have to bring 64 or 65 Muslim king to meet a guy. I mean, how that can be? See how power works? And he started lecturing them about what to do and what not to do. You remember, you know? And then he took Ivanka Trump with him, and Trump is talking and all the Muslims looking at Ivanka. And then there is a Saudi, he wanna build a mosque, and he built a mosque. It's called the Mosque of Ivanka. The whole country is focusing only in Ivanka, face and lips and neck. Trump is not, whatever. Trump, we agree with you, whatever you say, it's okay. Yeah, you are right. You are right, brother. You are right. Exactly. I remember when there was a prince from the royal family, and by the way, those are not a prince, neither a princess. Those are a Bedouin. They have nothing to do with royalty. It was the British intelligent, Her Majesty the Queen, who make them sheikhs and prince and kings. All of those, they are Bedouin who used to take a shower once a year or two, like my grandfather. You know, we are Arab. We take a shower like when is my next annual shower? I forgot. Anyway, so a prince was sitting next to Ivanka, and the guy, he was like in different galaxy. If you watch the video, you will die laughing. You know, the guy, he just like, you know, he's looking at her. Is she Jibreel? You know, I think they think she is Jibreel. Anyway, this is not our topic, but this is how hilarious those countries are. Allahu Akbar, Takbir, enemy. The king, he says something, the rest right away they obey and they are potatoes. Where is the Islamists who want to go Takbir now in Emirat? Where is the sheikhs? Where is the one who want to do jihad? What happened? Suddenly everybody sleep, nobody there to open his mouth. You see how easy it is? What happened? Nobody want to quote the Quran? Nobody want to recite the hadith of the Prophet? Everybody go mute. Continue, Trump.
Really an incredible event, a very important event. I made clear that the problems of the Middle East can only be solved when people of all faiths come together to fight Islamic extremism and pursue economic opportunity for people.
So we want to fight Islamic extremism. Good one, Trump, good one. So now Emirat and Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, they are fighting with us side by side Islamic extremism, which means the Quran, the Hadith, Muhammad, Aisha, Umar ibn Khattab, Muslim Brotherhood, Allahu Akbar. So anyway, as you see, this is how they market their business. And the other side, they are doing the same. But all of us, we knew that this is a deal was made for Israel. This is not a deal was made for those who they are signing it. Emirat and Saudi Arabia and Qatar, sorry, and Bahrain. And trust me, Qatar now, even though they are part of the Muslim Brotherhood, but the Qatari, they are like, which, you know, I mean, I'm talking about the prince there, the prince of Qatar. It's like, you know, like when there is a fish swim next to the whale or next to the shark. Have you ever seen those things? There's fish, they swim next to the mouth of the shark or next to his head or underneath the shark. Wherever the shark go, they go with him or with the whale. And the reason they do that is just to seek protection. Those countries, all of them, they are the same. They look around at the shark. Who is the shark? Who is the shark who they can swim under his belly? Bahrain, Qatar, when they announced and they gave the American the biggest base in the world for the American army, built, made by the money of Qatar, all the cost. The American there, even they don't pay for food, they don't even pay for electricity, they don't pay even for the land, all is for free. The biggest base in history. Why? Because they want to swim under the belly of the shark. They knew they are tiny. They knew that the Saudi can invade them anytime. They have many enemies around them. So they friend USA and they invited USA to have their base. And the Quran says that those who take the Christians and the Jews as a friends, they are one of them, chapter 5, verse number 51. But all of them, they are doing against chapter 5, verse 51, practicing chapter 3, verse number 28, where it says you can do taqiyya. So to make it clear, those peace agreements are not real. The only real about them is reality, which means it is necessity, not a belief. So because of necessity, because those countries are small, tiny, they cannot afford their own protection, and they are an easy target, so they sign those peace agreements. Those peace agreements, they will disappear if those countries are powerful, strong, and they do not need the protection neither from USA or from Israel. But as long as they are small and tiny, that will not change for the coming maybe 1,000 years. Because simply, what will make them strong? You see, money will not make you strong. The Saudi now, I believe, they bought some nukes from Pakistan, but still that will not make you strong. Actually, that even make you more weak, because the nuke you have is like a firework compared to what others have, and they can destroy them even before you use them, which means they can use it against you before even you will be able to use those things. So those countries, they understand that how bad their situation is. They understand that there's a lot of risk is involved, a lot of enemies. Iran, the Shia, Turkey, the Muslim Brotherhood, many risk. And in the top of that, they have another enemy, which is called Mr. Water. Maybe many of you do not know that all the Middle East is suffering badly from the not having enough water. Syria is suffering. Syria have many rivers, still is suffering. Iraq having the Euphrates, but and Dajla, it's almost dead. Jordan have no water. In Jordan, if you have a swimming pool, you cannot even fill it up with water, and if you do, you go to jail. And now Egypt is suffering badly from water because Ethiopia decided to build a dam here in the border. So the biggest threat is coming to the Middle East is not only the war between Iran, Turkey, Sunni, Shia, it is the war for water. This is why Egypt and Ethiopia now threaten each other over the water. For the water is the most expensive thing in the Middle East right now. And you believe it or not, water in Saudi Arabia is more expensive than gas. And in Saudi Arabia right now, they have manufacture on the sea to take the salty water and make it fresh water. But that can change so easy and can be destroyed if any leak of oil or any kind of environment disaster happen. As an example, if a terrorist or if Iran or Al-Houthi attack any ship full of oil, this small tiny sea, the Red Sea, is useless. They cannot use it for making water no more. So there's too many threats, there's too many problems in the Middle East. And this is why Islamic countries are seeking peace, not because they believe in it, but because they cannot take it. Nobody can handle war no more. They are too weak, too much divided, out of resource. Even their gas and their oil is not enough to support their fantasy life they used to have before. Because now everybody have gas. Israel have gas. Israel now is selling gas to Europe. Egypt have gas. Syria have gas. The only one don't have gas is Turkey. That's why Erdogan is going crazy. So they are out of resource. Their money is not enough as before to go for war and support war. No water, no money. The gas is going to be demolished and no protection. So what we do? We sign with the enemy against our common enemy. So Israel today is an enemy for Turkey, is an enemy to Iran. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And this is exactly what happened today between Israel and Emirates. It's a friend between enemies to fight an enemy, not a friendship between two friends. Which means those things will continue as long those countries are weak and small and tiny and weak. And I don't think this will change, not even for the coming 10,000 years, if this earth still exists. So I'm very thankful for Erdogan, for he is the one who made this deal happen. He forced Emirates to seek protection because it's a threat. Same time, Iran did part of it too. And soon we will see Bahrain and Saudi Arabia joining the peace agreement with Israel. And then you will see Israel is free, is not as surrounded as before. The dream of erasing Israel is demolished. And soon Israel, already actually Israel, they have their fingers in all those countries around. Israel, they have their fingers in Jordan. They have their fingers in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait, in Bahrain. In Bahrain, they have military already. And even Qatar. Actually, yesterday, the head of the Mossad, he was just in Qatar. He was asking Qatar to send money to Hamas. You believe it? I mean, can you believe it that the Israeli are asking Qatar to send money to Hamas? It's hard to believe, isn't it? I mean, they became so stupid to the point, even stupidity. I'm not talking about the Israeli, I'm talking about those who claim themselves Muslim Brotherhood, Islam, Caliphate, etc. The Israeli, they are going to Qatar, asking Qatar, can you pay Hamas? Why? Why they are doing that? Because simply, you know, if those people, they are hungry, there is nothing, they will go in the street to throw rocks. So they need Qatar from the money of the Muslim to fill their belly, so they sleep home. And who is going to do that? Qatar, 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 brother, support them. They are Hamas, support Hamas, okay? If you don't believe me, just search the news about the visit of the intelligence of Israel to Qatar and asking Qatar to pay Hamas help, money help, pocket money. You know, it's hard to believe, but this is the reality. So Israel is already all over, and what is appearing now in the surface, it what was in the dive for a while. All of those are hypocrite. All of them, they have relationship with Israel. All of them, they have intelligence department of Israel. They have the Mossad offices of Israel. They have, I mean, every connection you can imagine, but not even one of them dare to say we do. And Emirat today did. And soon the rest will follow. I hope you guys, you did enjoy this episode about what's happening in the Middle East. And remember, this is my personal opinion. This is what I think about, how I think about these things happen there. You don't have to agree with me, but download the video, put it in your computer, and watch it a few years after. Actually, I have an interview with the brother Osama Daktok. I don't know how many of you know him, in the radio. And I told him, Obama will not leave until the caliphate is started. One of you sent me an email. He said to me, I cannot believe it that many years ago you said that Obama will not leave until the caliphate is started. And yes, it does. How you know? How you know? You know? It's in my interview with Osama Daktok many years ago when Obama was a president. You have to analyze the information, and you have to think about what they are trying to accomplish tomorrow, what they want really from the steps they are doing today. Every step they do today or for tomorrow to come. And their steps are not for public to know about, and they are very important, and some of them, they are very dangerous. And watch and see what will happen. You will see that all those countries, one after one, will announce peace agreement and deal with Israel, and everyone will claim that he is the one who protect Palestinian, he is the one who protect the Palestine, he is the one who fight for the right of Palestinian, and their propaganda machine will present them as heroes. As simple as that. Time will come and you will see. I'm so happy for Israel for this accomplishment, and I'm so happy to see that Emirat is opening their arms, willingly or unwillingly, none of my business, but this is for their good. War with anyone is not for their benefit. Actually, we don't war with Iran too, but this regime is based on war. You see, the Iranian regime, the country is dying. They are dying from corona. You see, they speak about how many in America they die. Go and see in Islamic countries how many people die. Nobody talk about it. The president of Iran, by mistake, he mentioned that 35 million Iranians have corona. 35 million. But in the news, they say like 5-10 people die. I mean, how that can be possible? So they are suffering from everything. No money. The price of gas is down. They have sanctions. They cannot sell. They cannot buy. and yet they want to go for war. Why? Because war is the only useful business for losers. When you are a loser, your people, they cannot question, what are you doing? Why we don't have jobs? Why we don't have food? Why we don't have electricity? You say we have war. Don't you see we are fighting the infidels? So you make the war, which will never happen. It's just a war in the stage. It's just a war. You see the coward Iranian government regime, they don't dare to fight Israel face to face. What they do? They ask Hezbollah. So Hezbollah hit back who? I mean, hit Israel. Israel hit Hezbollah, but Iran is still safe. Or the Houthi in Yemen. But they will not dare to go in a war with USA or with Israel. Last time the Iranian, they sent missiles at Iraqi base, have USA soldiers. 2 hours before the attack, they informed them we are going to hit that place. After Trump, he ordered to kill one of the highest general of the Iranian regime. So things is getting so bad for Turkey. And look at this Turkey now before we finish. Turkey now having no friends whatsoever. They made everybody an enemy. Egypt is an enemy to Turkey. Let us count how many Muslim countries in the neighborhood are enemy to Turkey right now. Enemy, literally enemy. Even war might happen. And they are threatening each other. Egypt is an enemy to Turkey. Syria is an enemy to Turkey. Iraq, just yesterday, they asked all the Arab for a meeting, an urgent meeting, to stop the attack of Turkey in their borders. Saudi Arabia are enemy for Turkey. Emirat are enemy for Turkey. Bahrain is enemy for Turkey. The only friend for them is Qatar. And not forget Greece. All of those are enemies. And this is why the Turkish lira, the Turkish currency, is dying so fast. And this country will collapse. Because there's no friends left. And the more tension they go high, the more the economy of Turkey will collapse. And I'm expecting Turkey to suffer very bad because of Erdogan. I believe disaster will happen. And as they say, the first of a storm is one drop of water. And I believe the drop of water started. And the storm is coming very bad into Turkey. So I want to say thank you guys for being here. Again, for those who they might watch this video in different place, different location, because people download my videos, the easiest way always to find me where I do my live broadcast. I encourage you to subscribe to the channels where they are loading my videos, because still this is where you can find my videos, for I don't keep my videos in my channel. But the easiest way to find my channel is to go to patreon.com/Christian Prince, as you see in the screen. All right, or you can go and subscribe in my Facebook, which is the following page, or you can go to my Instagram, which is Arabian Prophet, or you can go to mind.com. And I have a Twitter, but I don't use it much. I will use it only for emergency. So I want to say thank you all for being here. This is how always you can be updated, because we changed the channel, we do live broadcast. For the devil is so angry from what we say, and what we say make a lot of evil ones angry. But we don't care. We say things as it is. The one who like it, the one who don't like it, let him go back where he came from. Think about it, where he came from. Will take you some time, the one who's angry. So I want to say thank you. God bless you all, and may the Lord protect you, keep you safe and healthy and good wealth, you and your family. Today, by the way, I spoke to a brother, his name Dr. Masih. He is from Pakistan. He is an ex-Muslim. He is today, he's preaching the gospel for Muslims. And, you know, this person, he wanted to talk to me like, like him and his family. And Osama Daktok, he called me and he said, here I have a friend, he want to talk to you. He tried to, you know, he hear you, he listen to you. I don't know if he's listening right now. So I want to say, Dr. Masih, it was I'm very honored to speak to you and to your family. And I hope one day we can meet and have some coffee together. May the Lord bless those who leave Islam and they saw the light, like Dr. Masih, who became a Christian, and now he's preaching the gospel for Muslims from Pakistan. We are proud of those people. They are the peaceful ambassador for Christ, and they are the one who carry the Bible for those who need it. So we are happy to have them. We love the Muslims. And the Masih, this person who is named Masih, one day he used to be a Muslim, and today he is a preacher. So this is why we should remember that who is a Muslim today, he might be a wonderful person preaching the gospel for our brothers and sisters in the other belief. So let us love them, pray for them to see the truth, and the truth will set them free. They are the one who need help. The Messiah, he said, I came for the sick, not for the healthy. So never prevent the one who need help from receiving his medicine. And the best medicine is the Bible and the truth and the teaching of Christ. So we love the Muslims, we pray for them. And whatever we say about politics, politics is dirty. Politics is evil. Politics is not about right and wrong. Politics is about what I should do now. What is good for me now. It's not about God. It's not about good. It's about solution for leaders who they are trying to survive either power or government or a chair or office. All of them are the same. Nothing about them is truthful. Nothing about them is legitimate. And they are not the example of morality or moral. They are corrupt, but we are just explaining to you how this corrupt world functions. Thank you very much for being here. May the Lord bless you. And for those who speak languages, Russian, Albanian, Malay, Indonesian, my books are for free. You can find the post for the links for them, those books in my Patreon page, so you can download those books, especially those who they speak Albanian or Russian, because already the Indonesian, they have those books published all over. So if you are a Russian or a person from Albania, you want to get my books in your language for free, go to Patreon, search for my post, and you will find it. Or you can ask the admin here to give you the link. Thank you very much. Christ is Lord. Islam is false. And we see you soon again. Take care. Bye-bye.